Listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Can't get enough baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, there's no human being I'd rather be talking to right now on the planet. Phil, how are you?
You're a liar. No, I'm good.
How about you? I'm not. I'm telling the truth. I enjoyed a brief conversation last year with the Mets. And now obviously with the Cardinals. Congratulations on everything that you do, everything that you have done, and everything you do. And I remember last year a little bit. It was after the trade deadline and that, sort of the chaos of the trade deadline and new team and everything else. Were you with the Mets long enough to know the words for OMG?
Long enough? No. It was it was really fun. It was a really good clubhouse experience. Guys like Iggy, having those veteran guys that can come in and just really improve the vibes. Just kind of get the team together. It was one of our celebration songs post-win. It's just one of those things where we were obviously an extremely talented team, but
vibes help.
Oh, 100%, especially late in the year when things can spiral out of control. We had a really good core group of veterans and younger guys too, but it was just a really good time, a lot of fun.
How much, now being around a little bit, how much do vibes help? Like the 162 plus playoffs.
If you get sick of guys really quick if you got a bad clubhouse. So it's having a good clubhouse makes things a lot easier. Because there's going to be little fights, little issues that come up throughout the year. Losing stretches, no one's having fun. But if you have a good core group of guys, it makes the 162 a lot better. And too, I think you're just going to play better baseball too.
Yeah, this is like old man yelling at clouds. But I'm like, you got to have good players, but you got to. Baseball's different, man. It's just different because you have to get through a whole season. Like you said, you don't want to walk in and be like, oh shit, I don't want to see this guy, or I don't want to be around this guy, or this guy's going to be negative, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, no, it's just the marathon of baseball. It's we don't have the luxury of playing once a week, and if you don't like your teammates, you can suffer through it for one day and go out and compete and get over it. But here it's it's every day. We see these guys more than our families, so it's it's a situation where if you have a good clubhouse, it makes your quality of life just so much better.
Could I ask you, I hear a lot about sort of the Cardinals way of doing things. You probably heard that before you got here, right?
Yeah.
It's much like when I probably asked you this yesterday about the secret sauce for Tampa. What is for you, even though it's been a short time, what has been sort of the uniqueness of being a Cardinal?
I don't know. It definitely growing up, we heard a lot about the Cardinal way. You see a lot of the guys I grew up watching. McGuire, Edmund, Scott Rowland, Pujols. I don't know. For me, so far, my only exposure to the Cardinal way is watching 5 innings of spring training games, which I haven't done before. Typically, spring training games, if it's out of division, I'm out of there. I'm heading home. I watch enough baseball throughout the year. But
are you kidding me? You did not pick up on the Cardinal way in the 5 innings of spring training?
No. But I think a lot of that too is it's how young guys are brought up through the system. I want to say playing the game the right way.
Yeah.
I think there's just definitely more of a focus that it's not all about you. It's about what you can do to help improve the team, help win a baseball game. I think there's just a little bit more focus to that than it is in some other organizations.
But it is interesting because, like you said, we talked about the exhausting conversation about Tampa, the secret sauce of Tampa, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Every organization's different. Do you get that? Do you get that there are, now that you've been in a few different teams, there are little things, whether it's on the field, whether it's approach, whether it's clubhouse, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I think just too with a lot of teams, it's like you can tell a lot about an organization by how well they retain their staff, and I think we've had a lot of guys in this organization for a long time. Whether it's clubhouse staff, coaching staff, players that came back and wanted to be with the Cardinals. I think that says a lot of good things about the organization. But yeah, I just think every organization is different. I think there's so many different ways to do it, but I I think we have a really good young core group of guys, and even too, like our offense so far to start the year has been very exciting to watch. So I think we just kind of need to continue to build on that, and I think that's what's going to really drive this team moving forward.
So you went through trade last year, and this year you had the off season. You know that So it's like take that big cup of coffee. Here we go.
Yeah.
The off season's different for everybody. You go into it with best laid plans, and everyone says be patient, be patient, be patient. Take me through again from your perspective. Like, what is that like for a player?
It's tough. I personally really enjoy the off season. I've been also very fortunate too to play a big part of a lot of postseason baseball. So finally getting home and getting to decompress a little bit feels really good. But I felt like this off season was one of my best ones I've had from a training standpoint. Kind of switched up my throwing. I did Driveline this off season, which is 15 minutes from my house. So going from there and then working out, which is 10 minutes from my house, kind of staying in like this little 20 minute loop in my house was like really enjoyable. Getting to hang out at home with the wife, cook food, enjoy some good bottles of wine. It was really enjoyable.
Let's stop there. If we stopped right now, your off season would have seemed like the best off season of all time. Right?
Yeah.
You're drinking wine, you're working out like at places like 2 seconds from your house, you're throwing good, you're learning stuff.
Yeah, no, it was great. And too, from a throwing standpoint, kind of just getting a different set of eyes on me. Kind of a fresh look on like what I can do with my mechanics to maybe increase some velocity, increase shapes on the pitches. And I can't say enough good things about the guys in Arizona at Driveline. I was pretty open with them about how if we do all this stuff in the off season and I gain 3 miles an hour, but my pitch shapes change, that's not a good off season in my book. So they were very flexible with me on trying to improve stuff while still maintaining kind of the uniqueness of my pitches.
Were you able to get to where you wanted to be?
Oh yeah. No, knock on wood, so far everything, velocity's been up already this year. I'm really happy with my fastball shape and the way everything's kind of been coming out of my hands so far. Obviously it's still early. We're not really in the grind of things yet, but very happy with kind of, being more around 91, 92 with my fastball instead of last year with Tampa. I think I was like 87, 88 to start the year, and that just was not where I wanted to be. What a difference
it is, though. Like, you get guys out. You were getting guys out, obviously.
For a little while in Tampa, and thankfully they righted the ship after I was really falling apart for a little bit. But it's, I think even just like from a pitch shape standpoint, it's math. If you throw the ball harder, they have less time to make an adjustment on pitches. So I'm going to take every little bit of velocity I can get and try to throw a little bit harder to improve my chances of getting guys out. But doing Driveline this off season with my weight room work, coming into spring training really late, it's probably the most prepared for season I've been in quite a few years.
Okay, but you came in late.
Oh yeah, really late. Yeah, right. I think I got all of 3 appearances before a big league game.
As I was saying, that you have like the image of velocities up, again, bottles of wine with your wife, whatever it is. I keep defaulting to that. It just sounds awesome. But then you have to wait. Then it's the waiting game and staying motivated and all that. Take me through that if you can.
It was tough. I'd be lying if I wasn't upset when I got the call from Stearns that they weren't going to pick up my option at the end of the year. Had a really good time in New York, good group of guys. But throughout even the entire offseason, it was kind of the notion that, we were going to get a contract get it done fairly early, kind of looking at around the winter meetings, and then that just didn't happen. Lots of talks with clubs, everybody's interested. Off-season progresses, nothing, still not really hearing much. Everybody's interested, nobody wants to make an offer. And then we got to kind of the point where I was finally outside throwing bullpens. Teams are sending scouts out, everybody's interested.
And that's in Arizona.
Yeah, nobody wants to make an offer. And then essentially got down to the stretch to where it was, 4 teams, 3 of them want to do advanced consent on a similar contract, and then the Cardinals was just a straight up major league contract, so it was a no-brainer to come here and play for them.
It goes from you probably going through your time with the Mets, and there's some certainty you're having a good time, and then you said, a little bit of a surprise, right? The
could have seen it gone anyway, but regardless of how it happens, you kind of wanted to stay with that group of guys.
Right.
And too, it cost me a ton of money, so that I'm not going to lie and act like that didn't hurt too.
That's not. But it's human. You're human.
Ultimately, it's baseball. We're workers. This is a job. It's just kind of how it is. Regardless how you feel about, going to be missing playing with the boys this year, but, have an opportunity to play with another great group of guys. So you move on, and it's just, another year of baseball.
But the staying motivated is another thing, right? Staying motivated in terms of, it's great you have the results, and there's a peak of that feeling great about, oh my goodness, I'm ready to go. Okay, teams, come on in, right? Did you do a workout for teams? Or?
Yeah, we just threw some bullpens outside. We were very fortunate that they were able to get some catchers for us, and we were able to throw on some of the fields. So it's definitely a better feeling than just throwing indoors all off season in Arizona, which is silly because we have great weather. But no, we had some teams come out and watch us, but it's ultimately I felt like really nothing came of it.
Yeah, all right. When spring training starts, you have day one and then you have week one and whatever. Was that when it's different for you? Your adult life. It's different.
Yeah, a little bit. We were treating the off season, kind of in line with what other teams were doing throughout spring training. So, we were throwing, I was 2 bullpens a week. I'd be doing that with the club, whether I was, throwing innings in games or on the backfield. So we were simulating that while I was working out. So once we came into camp with the Cardinals, I was essentially right where I needed to be.
Good.
If not ahead of where I normally was in previous years.
The last pitching question is you talk about velocity. We focus so much on velocity. Obviously, this is a big thing now. For you, it's not like 99. It's still, but it's 3 or 4 miles. What difference, big a difference is that for you, for a pitcher? Because so many people say, oh, well, like to go and make the Tampa thing, throw your best pitch for strike one, or hit your spots, or, whatever it is.
Yeah, I just think so much of it depends on, it depends player to player. So much of it's, the entry angle from, your release, extension, so many other things come into a factor, but ultimately, like, at the end of the day, like, throwing harder is that's gonna get you more outs. Like,
could you tell with hitters' reactions when you start?
Not really. Honestly, it feels about the same to me right now. So much of it, especially too when you're under 95, is execution. I do a lot of stuff that increases the perceived velocity, so that's going to outweigh me, throwing a mile per hour harder than with having like better extension is going to help me get more guys out than if I'm throwing 93 versus 95 with less extension.
You like the machines?
Oh yeah, I think it's good. It definitely it gives me value.
Adam
to some of the stuff that I
comes
do.
on a regular basis. We talk a lot about the machines. So
I think it helps explain a lot of things with certain guys. You don't understand how they get outs, or you see other guys where it's like, I don't know how this guy gets hit. It can kind of help paint the picture a little bit more and explain why things are happening in the game. But I don't know. Ultimately, in the end of the day, regardless of what the machine says, you have to go out there and get outs. That's the only thing that matters. So it can be easy to forget that sometimes.
The last thing is I wanted to talk to you. Your wife was a very good softball player, correct?
Yeah, I played college softball at Tech.
Okay, all right. And you met while she was playing softball? Are you playing baseball? Is that right? Or?
Yeah, we were both at Louisiana Tech.
Okay. Do you ever have debates, softball versus baseball? Like the obvious debate is, which is harder to hit? A softball, an elite softball pitcher from X amount of feet away.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't really had that too much. I'm very fortunate.
I don't mean to stir anything up.
Oh, no. I'm really fortunate to have her because early in the off season, if I don't have a catch partner, I can't play catch with her.
Yeah.
Before I'm built up, so I'm very lucky to have her in that aspect. So. But no, not too much competitive baseball versus softball in our
That's
in our
great
house.
though. But
it's nice too. It's like we'll sometimes be able to put college softball games on TV and be able to watch those at home. So that's kind of
you do
cool
watch college softball?
If it's on, I don't actively seek sports in the off season. I get enough in season, it's kind of. If it's on, we'll watch it. But no, it's really cool because she gets it. She gets the ins and outs of it, and too being. A big league wife for parts of 9 years now. She's seen so much of it now.
Really?
She just she gets the game and she understands it. So it's nice having someone at home that kind of understands.
Does she miss it? Does she like?
I think some aspects of it. I think college athletes are treated a lot better than they used to be, to say the least.
Ooh.
So
no NIL deals.
no, I think she misses some parts of it, but I think she's happy where we're at right now.
All right, so this is the first time we'll ever do it. Usually, a lot of times we end these things with just asking you why baseball isn't boring. Okay, which is no wrong answers, but I'm going to ask you, why isn't softball boring?
Why isn't it?
Yeah.
I think, especially at the college level, the energy pitch to pitch is much higher than baseball.
Yeah, it's like WBC. every
Yeah,
day.
it's like, whether you enjoy the chanting or not, I think that's going to be whether you like softball more than baseball at times. But, and two, the pace of play, I feel like is typically a little quicker. It might be faster now because of the pitch clock, or it might not be as fast now because of the pitch clock, but I don't know. It's such and as a pitcher, it's such a pitcher-dominated sport now.
Oh my goodness!
So I kind of enjoy the ins and outs,
Yeah.
the pitch selection. What are they going to throw here? What's setting up what pitch? So I kind of enjoy that aspect of it. But if you enjoy the offense, I feel like sometimes it can be a little bit outweighed by the pitching.
I could do a whole podcast on the chanting in softball games.
Yeah,
You ever
no.
talk to her about because they have the whole?
Oh, they love all that.
Do they?
It's just, I don't know. That's not my thing.
No.
But it's I think it's pretty much universal across every team. That's just what they do.
We will never see chanting in baseball.
I sure hope not.
All right, thank you.